What's up, gamers, and I want to tell you what the best B rank W drives are that you should be keeping and leveling up on your account, because there are a couple that actually can benefit you quite a lot, and most people just throw these drives away, don't even look at them, don't even think about them. And I actually do think there are some that can genuinely help your account out, progress your account even further, and some of these options are even better than a lot of the 4-star options in the game right now. So gamers, before we hop into the 5th best drive now, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already if you want ZZZ content, because this will let me know if you actually want to see more ZZZ content, and maybe leave a like on the video too, I don't know, but subscribing mainly, please subscribe. Gamers, let's hop into number 5 right now, which is Decrescent. This is going to be an attacking W drive. Now, why this is going to be so good is because this is going to proc off every single time you break the enemy shield. And why is it going to proc off every time you break the enemy shield? Because you should be swapping into your main DPS or your attacker whenever you break the enemy shield. That should be the last person coming out in the chain, so you're able to do the most damage possible on the boss. So how it should be in a chain attack is your breaker will break the enemy shield, then your support character comes out, does a buff or debuffs the enemy or something like that, right? And then finally your attacker will come to the field and do the massive damage you should be doing. And you might also say, yo, you two, 6 seconds? That's kind of low, isn't it? And while yes, it is kind of low, the main thing here is you can actually prolong this to 12 seconds if you want, or I guess 11 seconds if you want to get technical about it, because what you can do here is swap in using the chain attack. After you use your chain attack, you wait 5 seconds. After waiting those 5 seconds, you will proc your ultimate off after that. The reason why I say 5 seconds because you want to make sure the buff is up whenever you actually hit your ultimate move. So after your ultimate move procs off, this will be giving you an additional 25% damage increase for another 6 seconds, which should span the full amount of time that the enemy is actually stunned there for. Now, I won't sit here and cope with you guys and tell you that the 8% tack bonus is amazing here, but the thing is, this is a viable option to use, especially if you haven't pulled many 4-star attacking W drives yet in the game. So this could be a very good option for your account. Like, obviously, other options that are going to be super good here is something like Starlight Engine, right, which is a 4-star W drive, or even Street Superstar, which can work as well. But like I said, I think this is a pretty versatile and universal set as well, especially if you're maybe running like a dual DPS team for whatever reason. If you just need an extra W drive, keep Decrescent. I would say keep at least 1 copy, even if you don't level it up. Keep it on your account because you never know when you might need it. Go ahead and max it out to the Super Imposition 5, whatever the name of it is when you enhance the light cones or whatever to their max value of duplicates or whatever. And as we go deeper into this list, guys, each of these is going to become more and more viable to the point where they're going to become even better than most of the 4-star light cones in the game. So let's go ahead and hop into number 4 right now, which is going to be base. This is going to be used for your defensive characters. And yes, I get it. There's not very many defensive characters in the game, but you might not have pulled a defensive 4-star W drive that works really well with your character you're using, right? The reason I do recommend base, because it does give you defense percentage for the main stat. On top of this, whenever you attack, you'll be getting a 32% defense bonus as well. So this is practically going to be up at all times because you're probably going to get hit in the game. Maybe you just tank 1 hit for the team, right? But this can be super beneficial with boosting up your defense stat to really let your defense character shine and either do more damage, give you bigger buffs for your team, or even give you bigger shields or something like that so you're not taking as much damage, because as we know, there's not really any healing elements in the game unless you put like a healing bang boo on. So making sure that you're able to shield yourself more or be more defensive, especially when you get later into the game, not that anyone's got there yet, but whenever you get to that point, having some extra defense, extra shield is really going to benefit you in the long run. So having a W drive like this can really benefit your account in the future, especially if you haven't pulled any of the other 4-star W drives in this category. Now let's go ahead and hop into one of the W drives that I am currently using right now on my breaker, and that is Arrow. Now, the reason why I like Arrow so much is because, first of all, the main stat is impact. And what is impact? Impact is the rate of which you are able to apply daze to the enemy, right? Daze is the bar that basically stuns the enemy and allows you to do the most damage possible. It gives you a big damage increase whenever the enemies are dazed. So you want to make sure you have as much impact on your characters as possible, because this does increase the accumulation of that. Now, on top of this, this does give you a free 12% daze whenever this character, the character that has this equipped, is attacking the main target. So what does this mean? So this means, first of all, you are charging up the rate even faster because you are having the main stat of impact here. On top of that, you're using daze, which if you don't know what daze is basically the amount that the impact gives, right? So you hit the enemy, it gives you the faster accumulation, but this makes that accumulation bigger, right? So speaking in Honkai Star Rail terms here, say you were to do 10 toughness to the enemy, right? The impact would allow you to do that more frequently, hit the 10 toughness more frequently, while daze is going to increase that number to say like 15, right? So instead of hitting 10 every single time, you're now hitting 15 every single time at a faster rate, meaning you're able to break the enemy's daze meter that much faster. This is actually the drive right now that I am using on my Ambi because she is my only breaker on my account, and I got one other drive here, but I do prefer this drive over the 4-star drive that I received here, just because of the fact it does give you the extra impact, it does give you the extra days, and I do think that this W drive is one of the best ones that you can level up, and I would absolutely recommend leveling this one up in your account right now, because I do believe this does outperform or can outperform some of the 4-star options that are already in the game. Now let's go ahead and hop into the final two right now, and if you've made it to this point in the video, hit that subscribe button, gamers. I would really appreciate it. It would help the channel grow. Maybe drop a like as well to say that you're liking ZZZ content, or if you're liking it or not. Anyways, gamers, let's go ahead and hop into the two best B rank W drives in the game right now, and both of these are actually better than a lot of the 4-star options that you have in the game, unless you have that character specific W drive like Shotaku using her little demon Oni one. These are going to be the best options in the game for you, and you can get these up quite fast. Let's go ahead and start with Mark 3 first. Mark 3 is going to be really good because it plays off of chain attack and ults. This throw ult out the window because you're probably never going to be using your ultimate move with your support character, but what you will be doing is using your chain attack, because this should be the second person in rotation every single time you're going to your main DPS. So it should be Breaker going to your support, going to your main DPS, and this is going to be increasing your whole squad's attack by 12%. And especially since we're so early game right now, attack percent is going to be really viable for you, especially because you haven't started farming your disc drives yet, meaning crit rate, crit damage really doesn't matter too much right now. You're trying to get those base stats up as much as possible, and that's not to say that this is not going to be more beneficial to you in the long run, because you practically will activate this every single time it has the chance to activate, unless your breaker is insane. It does have a 20-second cooldown here, but the big thing here is making sure you're getting out that damage when the enemy's broken, and it lasts for 10 seconds, and with 10 seconds you will be able to do so. Now, the reason why this is number 2 and not number 1 is because our number 1 is a lot more beneficial than the attack percent and HP main stat that this provides, and that is going to be actually Mark 2. Mark 2 is going to be really good because the main stat here is going to be energy regen. You want to be regenerating as much energy as possible on your support characters. Let's say the enemy's not broken, you need to buff up. This is going to be increasing that energy regeneration, so you're able to hit their EX skill even more, which applies more buffs to your team. On top of this, guys, whenever you launch that EX skill or you do a chain attack, you'll be increasing the whole party's anomaly mastery and proficiency by 16 for 10 seconds. This does have a 20-second cooldown as well, but the really big thing here is anomaly mastery and anomaly proficiency. The reason why these things are too good, these are the stats effects that you're putting on the enemy, right? So whether that be shock, freeze, fire, physical, whatever element that you're using, this is going to build that meter up faster and then also give you increased damage when the anomaly actually does proc off. And to quickly teach you about what each one of these is, anomaly mastery, guys, is the rate at which the anomaly stacks up. What is anomaly? Anomaly is your typing, right? So say you keep hitting the enemy with an ice weakness, the bar is going to keep going up and up and up and up until you hit the max rating. Oh, the enemy is now frozen. They've taken a status effect. They've taken damage from that. Anomaly proficiency is the amount of damage you're doing with that anomaly, right? So whenever it does proc off, this is the damage that you're actually going to be doing with it, which is what the main scaling of your anomaly type characters do scale off of here. So let's say, for example, you're using someone like Shotaku, Grace, and Anton. Now, the reason why this team can actually work pretty well is because Grace is an anomaly type character. You'll be building up that meter really fast. You'll have Shotaku being able to swap in and out and give her that increased anomaly proficiency and mastery that she's going to be able to provide here. And whenever you swap to Anton, Anton will be reprocking a certain percentage of that anomaly that you have on the enemy. So by you increasing the anomaly proficiency and mastery for Grace, which is then able to more fastly build up the anomaly on the enemy and deal more damage with that anomaly, that means Anton comes out, does his moves to reproc that at a higher rate now, so that means you're just doing more damage all around. Not to mention the energy regen right here will help them out so much. Anyways, gamers, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Have you leveled up any of these W drives? What do you think of ZZZ so far? Do you think it's sleeper, copium, or do you think you're having fun playing the game like I am? Anyways, gamers, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your input on this. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video, gamers. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one later. Bye-bye.